Except my phone won't let me turn it sideways again this week. I don't know how to solve that problem, so I may have to move the camera several times while we're working. Just is what it is. Okay, so the first thing we want to do, wash your hands. If you haven't, I just touched my head. Hold on, let me rinse my hands off. Okay. That's not an actual wash, but it makes me feel a little better. Okay, the first thing you want to do is we're going to make the garnish for the end. So if you were able to find some, look, this is what passes for fresh oregano at the grocery store right now, but it's the best I could do. So if you got some fresh oregano, just get it and just pull the leaves off. I'm going to turn the camera down now so that you can see my cutting board. I'm going to turn, I guess I'm going to turn it this way or it'll make it sideways. Okay. Oh, this is so frustrating when you can't turn your camera like you want it. I need a real cameraman. Okay, so you've got your oregano. Make sure you can see my hands. You just pull the leaves off like this. You can strip it backwards sometimes. It'll let you do that. And boy, that smells so good when you pull those leaves off of there. Oh, it smells good. Now, if you didn't have fresh oregano, or you have limp, yucky looking oregano like this, and you just want to use dried is fine. But it doesn't look quite as nice as fresh does. So, and y'all, I got my window open. You're probably going to hear my neighbor's mowing his yard, I think. So, oh, that leaf looks brown. Just if you have any brown or wet leaves that look kind of melty and yucky, just throw those out. You don't want those in your final dish. Okay, so that big stick, and that's all it left me with. But take your knife. I got too much stuff on my stovetop here. And you want to chop it like that. You can kind of drag your knife over the top of it, and that'll help it release some of the flavors. Mashes it just a little bit. See that? And then once you get it pretty well chopped, and you're gonna say, well, how do I know when it's done? When it just is in small pieces. There's, you know, when it looks nice to you. So that looks pretty nice to me. It's just a garnish, so it's not the end of the world if it's not just right. And then I'm gonna put it in its own little bowl because we're gonna change it, save it for later. All right, and then we're going to zest 2 lemons. So if you have, this is a zester, a microplane. It also looks exactly like, and it is exactly the thing they used to use on our heels at the beauty shop for a pedicure. If you don't have one though, and you do have a box grater, it'll be the small, I guess it's this one, this small, real bumpy side of your grater. It's easier though to handle with a microplane. So maybe you didn't think you have one and you really do have one. And then to zest a lemon, you don't want to do too far down, because if you get down into the white too much, it'll be bitter. And that is yucky. So just tap it every once in a while because the zest likes to hang onto the microplane. So. And you know, it doesn't have to all be gone. You're just going to have spaces that still have skin, and that's okay. I wouldn't show you a recipe on here that required too much. That was too picky. It takes a minute. Oop. See, my wrists aren't good. All right. And that also smells like heaven, so then don't get rid of your lemons, because we're going to use those in the recipe in a little bit. So we're just going to set that all aside. It's going to wait for later. Okay, now let's turn this back up here and see if we got any questions. All right, so Gina joined us. She just got back from Walmart. All right. Yes, wash your hands. Wash your hands. Let's see. Oh, Mary Bruce. Hey, Mary Bruce is watching. And Gina, who said she just got back from Walmart, and that's what Marsha was saying, wash your hands about. And Vaughn is watching. Hey, y'all. Okay, so if you're just joining, you haven't missed much. We chopped up some oregano. This is fresh oregano, which wasn't actually looking real fresh. But it's the best we could do. It is a pandemic. And we zested 2 lemons, saving the zest, saving the lemons. They're for later. It's just, that helps us be more prepared when it's time to use them. Now I've got some on my cutting board I need to clean up here. Alright. Now, I want to talk for a minute about chicken breasts. I want to show you some things.
Hey, this is Wendy. Thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you'll join Sarah and I on our mother-daughter adventures in takeout. You can find Dorks with Sports wherever you download podcasts or at dorkswithsports.com.
Okay, first of all, once you've used your cutting board for chicken, you want to wash it before you use it for anything else. If you didn't know that, now you do. I don't have a big enough space here. Alright, I opened 1 pack of chicken breasts, and I'm going to show you the difference here. We're going to turn this down so you can see. Alright, because you're going to have to look at your chicken breasts and judge what you need to do. Some of the chicken breasts in my package were humongous chicken breasts, like this. Like, that's like probably a whole pound right there. Look at your chicken breast real carefully. Is it real thick? See how thick that is? That's 1 inch thick. That's going to be too thick for our lemon chicken. Also, there's a big bone right here, so I'm going to have to cut that out. This chicken breast was in there too. It's pretty thin. See, it's maybe 1/2 inch thick. So this is going to be enough for 1 person because it's about 1/2 pound. This big pounder, we're going to have to cut in half. This is a medium-sized piece. You're going to have some of those too, and those are ones you're just going to have to decide for yourself what you need to do. If it's super thick on this end, it's thin on this end, we're probably going to have to take the meat pounder and pound that and make it so that it's all about the same thickness. But this one, if I doctor on it for just a minute, will be good to go. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut that bone out. Look at your chicken really good. Cut out any bones. Just toss it. Okay. Now, on these big Mahamba Jamba chicken breasts, what I want you to do is lay it on your cutting board. Put your knife about halfway, and then I hope you've got a really sharp knife because this takes a really sharp knife. And then you just cut down in there about halfway. Put your hand on top, give it a little squeeze, and start cutting. Don't be shy with it though. You got to commit to it once you start. And then hold it like this and finish cutting it all the way. That's going to give you 2 servings. And this one is then going to be about the same thickness. So we're good. Now let me put this in the sink. And I'm going to wash my hands real quick. Alright, let's see if you have any other questions. Okay, I don't see anybody, no new questions. Alright, now we're going to move the camera over onto the frying pan. And now I've got 2 towels. Alright, here we go. Alright, there's the frying pan. Alright. There, don't look. There's pug hair in the bottom. Alright, I'm going to put this on medium. And I'm going to put it on low. And I'm going to let my 2 tablespoons of butter start melting. And then, I got to move your eyeballs over here while that melts. Because we're going to salt and pepper and flour our chicken. So get one of your chicken breasts that you're ready to start using, and we're going to put a little salt on there. Make sure you can see that. I'm using kosher salt. The reason I use kosher salt is because it has a big grain to it and I can sprinkle it real easily like this. And then I'm going to turn it over. Now, I shouldn't have plopped it right down in the flour, but I'm working with a limited space here, so if you can, salt and pepper it before you stick it in the flour. And then we're just going to coat it with a little flour. Not a ton, just a little bit. Okay? Let me turn this back up so I can see. I see somebody's got a question. Oh, Lynn has sharp knives because I sharpened them for her. And Maria too. Oh, that's great. Mine's sharp because I sharpened it. The only one I didn't get to was Marsha. I didn't get her knives sharpened, but I was thinking I would see her again real shortly, but I didn't know all this was going to happen. So anyway, we're going to get this butter melted here. Are y'all caught up with me? I'm not leaving anybody behind, am I? So one thing I wanted to tell you is that for this kind of thing where you're just putting a little bit of flour on just to give it a light coat, one thing that works really good for that is Wondra flour. Have you seen Wondra? It's usually with the other flours. It comes in a tube thing, like about this top. It's a real fine flour. Use it with baking and stuff. But it works great for this kind of thing, and it will give a nice crispy texture to the outside of whatever you're working with. So now we want our butter to heat up. I'm going to turn you all back around so you can see the frying pan. Hold on, here we go. Lord, we need a cameraman. All right. Now I don't want my butter to get real over brown. So what we're going to do is add just a touch of olive oil to it. See that? That's maybe a teaspoon or two. And if you get the butter and the olive oil going together, it helps keep the butter from over browning. However, now I probably have too much in my pan, but that's okay. We'll just drain it off later if we need to. Let's see, what is Maria saying? Oh, nothing. Same thing. All right. So we want to let this get good and warm. Now, how do you know when it's ready? Here's what I do. I take my chicken. Did you hear that? We didn't hear anything. It's not ready. When it's ready, you'll hear it sizzle and pop. So, while we're waiting, has anybody tried anything new that they really loved this week? Let's see. I tried some new corn chips from Aldi. Ooh, they're really good. I probably shouldn't have tried them. It is the street corn Fritos. Delicious. A little bit spicy though. I know Lynn's been having food trucks to her neighborhood, so maybe that has led to trying some new stuff. Anyway, well, okay, my butter's getting a little brown there on the edge. Let's see. Still nothing. Laura said, oh yes, she made a sweet potato pumpkin apple bread. It was gone in a flash. I bet it was good. Joanna had banana cake. Ooh, with chocolate frosting. I bet that was delicious. Gourmet hot dogs yesterday from Lynn. What makes a gourmet hot dog? Was that from a food truck? Yeah, David. Aldi does have great snacks. Oh, I got some pancetta from there. It's delicious. Too much so delicious. All right, let's see. We're still not heated up. I'm gonna turn my heat up a little bit. It should be warm already. Wait a minute. Cheryl's making zucchini and squash au gratin to go with the... Ooh, I bet that's good. Marsha's addicted to flip side crackers. One side cracker, one side... Oh, I haven't tried those. Debbie oatmeal cream pies. Need to get it together so you can wear real britches next week. Girl, I hear you. Cheetos. That's my downfall. Jeff made spaghetti carbonara with the pancetta this week. Ooh, that sounds delicious. Delicious, delicious. Oh, now it's getting right. All right. I'm going to turn you back over, see. Waffle food truck. Ooh. You'll have all kinds of things with your waffle food truck. That'll be delicious. All right. Let's see what we can see here. Let's see if I can turn this just... All right. I'm going to... Here's an important thing about breading and frying. You do not want to crowd your pan. That's really, really important. So even if it takes you a little bit longer to get everybody fried through, that's okay. That's all right. So it takes a little longer, no problem. Like I wouldn't do more, this is a pretty big pan and I wouldn't do more than 2 in here at a time. So, turn that there. Now I'm cooking this over a medium heat. I'm just going to let it get a little brown on one side. You don't want to go flipping and flopping it. Just let it cook. I think I forgot to put pepper on this one. David said he made a marinated and grilled top round London broil, medium rare. Oh, I bet that was good, David. Oh, Laura's mom, Dina, is here. That is great. Welcome. I'm so glad to have you here. Alright, we're going to see how we're doing there. You can peek, just don't go flipping and flopping it. There we go. My oil's getting a little hot now. It's turning darker than I'd like for it to be. Joanna's here too, Dina. So we're all hanging out together. All right, and while that's finished, well, I'm just gonna flip it. It's about done. When you can see the side starts looking like this, can you see that white stripe along there? It's getting about time to turn it. There we go. All right. There we go. Now, while that other side cooks for a minute, I'm going to move these things out of the way. Now, this flour that we coated the chicken with, it's done. Toss it. Unless, of course, you've got more breasts to do. Then, of course, do that. We're going to let this go for just a minute, and then I'm going to get ready to cut them board. Okay. Well, and when you get a good little sear on the other side, we're going to set them aside onto a plate. And then I'm going to tell you what to do about this pan. Because see, that butter is too brown. It's going to muck up our sauce. Alright. There we go. Now, once you get done browning your chicken, I want you to make an assessment. Look, first of all, turn your heat off. Look how dark that looks. It's just too dark in some places. And it's too much. Like this is probably 1/4 cup of oil in there. And that's too much. So, I'm going to pour off some of that. So now we want to, I'm going to turn my heat back on a low, and I've got 2 fresh tablespoons of flour. I'm going to sprinkle that in there, and that's going to absorb up most of the rest of the grease in the pan. And we're going to stir that around and let it cook. And the reason for doing that is because it cooks the flour taste out of the flour, and that's going to thicken, it's going to make us a nice thick sauce when we get done. Okay? So just for a minute or so, it doesn't take long. And then we're going to add broth. And this is going to be adjustable based on how many chicken pieces you have. I'm going to use a little more than a cup. Probably going to steam up my lens. And you may have to get your whisk out and whisk those little pieces in. Let me get mine. I'll show you what I mean. Well, there's a fork stuck in my whisk. Alright, if you've got little clumpies in there, just whisk them. They'll come up. Don't worry about it. Remember, we're on a low to medium-low heat here. And this is about the right color. Now remember, we saved those lemons. Remember that? Here's where we're going to use them. So, well, maybe if I go further up, you can get a better picture. I don't want you looking at my gut, but here we go. You see that? Okay. Now, take these are the lemons that we zested. Cut those in half. Alright. And then we're going to squeeze them. I just do it over my hand to catch any seeds. Squeeze them into that into the broth there. And I'm using 2 whole lemons because my lemons are tiny. If you have a gigantic lemon, then maybe just 1. Ultimately, you want about a 1/4 cup of juice. Ooh, that one had a lot of seeds. All right, and then just toss the seeds. The zest that here's the zest that we did, and mine's got a little oregano in it. I'm going to put just a little bit of that in there, just a pinch as well. Okay, now I'm going to turn this back over. We're going to let this cook, and it's going to cook down till it's about half gone. Let me look. Okay, now, let's see what the question is. I feel like I'm going to sneeze, so if I do, please excuse me. I'll disappear off screen. Alright. Someone's in the kitchen with Dinah. Oh, Dinah, not Dina. Dinah. I gotcha. Okay, Dinah. And let's see. Lynn's son says it smells good. It does smell good. A lemon and oregano smells great. And chicken. Okay, and Lynn says if you're eating later, should you wait to make yeah. Actually, this is one of those things that it doesn't take long to make. So, I mean, you can throw this together. You can just remember what we did and throw it together at supper, exactly at supper time. But if you're making it with me, then yeah, I would wait to make the sauce till later. Hey, Kitty. Kitty joined us. Okay. Well, now I put my heat too low. Y'all, I'm having temperature problems today. Okay. So, is everybody ready for your hairdresser and manicure pedicure place to open back up? Look at my hair. My daughter even cuts my hair and look at it. I need a haircut bad. Okay. So I'm going to turn you back around because it's getting where it's close to where we add the cape. Right now, though, if you're watching. Shoot, I forgot to add the garlic. Okay, look. It's never too late. Add your garlic in there. So, I've got a couple tablespoons garlic. I can't feel too bad about that, though. Marcia sent us a message this morning saying that she saw the Pioneer Woman catch her wooden spoon on fire. That made me laugh so hard. I'm like, yeah, because she didn't have her professional cameraman around to cut that out for her. No, Kitty, I can't see you. So put your garlic in if you didn't already. And capers. This is what I was getting ready to say when I saw my garlic sitting over there. Capers. Capers come in a little bottle like this. Like this. But what's in there is real briny. So what you want to do is take your sieve, put, it's a couple, like 2 tablespoons. This is going to be enough for this recipe. Put them in your sieve and run some water. Yeah, don't forget the garlic, that's right. But put them in a sieve and then run them under the tap for a second, maybe 20 seconds, to rinse them off good. Because these are actually little flower blossoms. Did you know that? And I, in looking in a really old cookbook, I found a recipe where you can pickle, it's like pickling, dandelion blossoms, and they taste like capers. And I'm going to be doing that as soon as dandelions come out. Yeah, David says if the recipe calls for 1 or 2 cloves of garlic, he adds a whole head. I do the same thing. I'm like way garlic forward. Okay, let me turn the camera back around so you can see what's going on in the pan here. Alright, see that? It has started to thicken a little. It's real speckly with the garlic. And it's going to have to thicken just a little bit more. This dish does take more dishes than I wish it did. Because you have a, you know, the plate you set your chicken on, you have your flouring dish, you have your plate that the chicken is waiting on. It's kind of a lot of dishes, but it's worth it in the end, I think. Now what's making this so brown, just so you'll know, you could start out and not use butter, you could use vegetable oil, and this would be a lighter colored sauce. What's making it brown was that the butter got real browned to begin with. So we could call this a browned butter lemon chicken. It's not going to give it an off taste, it just gives it a different color. So, alright. Now I like to let mine get pretty thick, almost like a gravy. But it is a sauce, so when you can make a line across the pan, see that? See how I can drag my wooden spoon across there and the line stays like a line for a minute? That's how you know it's time to add the capers. So add those in there. My thing's all mushed because my grandson got hold of it. And then we're just gonna let this go for just a second, like no more than a minute, because those little capers are pretty delicate. I mean, they're flower blooms, right? So then, woo, that's hot. Okay, put your chicken back in, and then we're just gonna cook till the chicken's done, which is not gonna be very long. And what you can do is take some of your sauce, and I hope y'all can see what I'm doing. Put the sauce up over the chicken, and that will help cook it, and it will help flavor the chicken. You won't be sorry about doing that. Now, what do you do? Here are the things that can go wrong here. Like, you can start when you don't have quite enough sauce left to do this. If you do that, just add a little chicken broth. Keep your chicken broth close. Like, I've got mine sitting right here. I can add some to it. And we're just going to do this until the chicken's done. How do you know the chicken's done? Well, you can cut into the chicken. Like, it's not my preferred way of doing things. But if you don't have any other way to do it, that's what you do. So you could make a small cut, like here, in the thick part, and look down in there. Do not make a great big cut. Don't cut all the way through, because your juices are going to get out. And my preferred way, and your preferred way, should be to take its temperature. I've got a nice thermometer here that I got from ThermoWorks. It's an instant read. That says 123. This says 135. You don't want to stick it all the way in. You want to get it to about the middle. So that means I've got a little way to go. You want it to get to about 160. Alright, let me turn this back where I can see what you're saying. Can I teach you how to make fried chicken? I can teach you how to make fried chicken. Alright, let's go back here where we were. Alright. David says, people he cooks for tend to be happy to do the dishes. Oh, hey. You got it. You got a good deal, David. You cook them a meal and then they do the dishes. That's awesome. Lynn loves capers. I do too. I think they really make the dish. Yeah, they're flower blooms. That's right. Makes them more happy. And this is another thing. You don't want to just flip and flop the chicken. So, you know, baste it on one side with the sauce and then do it on the other side with the sauce. And then you're going to want to serve it right away when it comes to temperature. It's cooked through. Yeah, Marcia's right. Capers are sneaky salty. So, you don't want to add too many, and you do want to rinse them before you put them in your dish. So, Laura has plenty of dandelions that I can come out. And can I teach her to make... Hey, Janet! Janet Bragg has joined us. Lynn, I would love to teach you to make fried chicken. But the last time... I can make a really good fried chicken, but I about burned my kitchen down the last time I made it. Oh, David has a ThermoWorks dot coming this week. Yeah. These are expensive. I'm just going to tell you, it's like a $99 thermometer. But if you cook all the time, great investment. Because, like, it turns off when you have it like this. But if you leave the probe out, like say I took the temperature, set the probe down, picked it back up, it will automatically turn on. It automatically senses when it's low light. It's a great thermometer, I think, but they're very expensive. So, but again, if you cook all the time, it's well worth it. Okay, and that is really the best way to tell if a chicken is done, because you don't want to serve chicken that's bloody. Sweet tea brine fried chicken. I just saw a recipe for that on I think it was Cooks Illustrated, one of those. Okay, so my chicken is at temperature. So I'm going to show you what it looks like. Turn this around. Alright, see that? See how it looks? I turned my stove off. So that's ready to go. I think it'll be delicious. And I'll take some pictures of it and post them. Oh, I forgot. Then you want to garnish with a little bit of oregano. See that? And a little bit of the, well, that came out clumpy. A little bit of your zest. Don't, not in big clumps. And then the final step is you want to taste the sauce. Hey, Tanya. Hold on. Let me get a spoon. You definitely want to taste the sauce before you serve it. That's pretty good, but it needs a little pepper and a little tiny bit of salt. So it's always good to taste things before you serve them. I've made that mistake I don't know how many times where I have served something without tasting it first, and that was a mistake. So but there you go, lemon chicken. Let's see what everybody's having to say here. Let's see. Where did she? Laura wants to know where Corey heard about sweet tea brine fried chicken. Oh, Publix, she said. Publix has some good food. Marsha's making this tomorrow with rice and asparagus. That sounds good. Having Mexican tonight because she's having withdrawals. Yeah, David's saying that it's worth the money for a good quality thermometer. I couldn't agree more, David. I have ruined too many dishes. Not particularly turkey at Thanksgiving. Not having a good thermometer. Joanna's making this tonight. So what are you gonna make? What are you gonna serve it with? That was one thing I wanted to talk about. I'm fixing this tonight for supper too, and we're gonna have angel hair pasta with it. Pastas work good. Butter noodles work good, which is a pasta. Like a Parmesan mashed potato would be great with this. Rice, of course, would be fantastic. I think like a wild rice. Woo, that would be delicious. Or a long grain and wild rice. And then a green vegetable. Maria's doing mashed potatoes and asparagus. Isn't the asparagus beautiful right now at the grocery? We had bacon wrapped asparagus last night, but it was bacon wrapped because it was the great big fat asparagus, but it was delicious. Oh, little fingerling potatoes. Good idea, Joanna. Yeah. What else are we having? Oh, this will be on the website if it turns out good. I'm using a Savoy cabbage and making a Savoy cabbage salad with a lemon vinaigrette dressing. I thought that would go good with the chicken. So Laura says they're supposedly. Oh, Laura, you'll love Publix. She's getting a Publix. That's my favorite grocery store now. My favorite used to be Whole Foods because it smelled so good when you went in there. But they've changed their layout and everything. It's not my favorite anymore. So I'm doing this Savoy cabbage salad and the strawberry pie I showed you at the beginning and some crusty bread. It's our supper. And I guess deviled eggs because Richie's coming over and he has requested deviled eggs. Yeah, I hope it turns out, and if it does, I will definitely be sharing the recipe. I thought it would be good with like to take the Savoy cabbage, just cut it real small with tomatoes and blue cheese and bacon, and then like a lemon vinaigrette dressing. We'll see. I don't know how good it'll be. Sometimes things are real good up here, and then when the reality of it is no. Okay. Well, this has been fun. What would you all like to cook next week? Do you have any requests for anything? Like last week, I didn't come with any ideas, but I will be thinking on it while I'm finishing cooking up some chicken before Richie and Sarah get here. But we'll figure out something, and we will keep doing these cooking classes until the pandemic is over, because I assume that we'll all go back to our real lives after that. I have enjoyed cooking with y'all though on Sunday afternoons so much, and I think that my favorite thing about the pandemic has been some of these things that people are doing from their homes. I love that. Like, I've seen some of my favorite musicians, and I've seen some of my favorite comedians, and I've seen just regular people doing things, and I think that's fantastic that we're all hanging in there and helping each other that way. So, David says he misses Majors and Kroger. We don't have that. Oh, you're in New York? I didn't know you were in New York. Mostly Wegmans and Walmart and Aldi. Oh, my thing. Ah, my comments disappeared. I can't see your comments. Where are they? Oh, there they are. Aldi can be good. Yeah, I shop at Aldi a lot. I think it's great quality, and most everything is pretty tasty. So there's Brinkley. Hey, Brinkley. So, Tops. Heidi says she misses Wegmans and Tops. Laura's going to make it later. I think you'll enjoy it. It is lemony. So, if you're not into lemon, this is not the thing to make, because it is pretty lemony. If you're not a big lemon fan, just back off on the zest. That is really what pushes it over the top. Cinco de Mayo is coming up. I mean, oh, that would be so fun. The MC girls in the driveway to celebrate. Hey, maybe we'll do a Cinco de Mayo recipe here next week. Let's say. And Dinah says, thanks when you enjoy it. Thanks. I'm glad you came, Dinah. Tops is a New York thing. Okay. All right. David likes Price Chopper. Never heard Price Chopper. But it sounds like my kind of place. So, he goes to Tops occasionally. All right, y'all. Well, I'm going to plate up this chicken and take a picture of it, because I'm going to put it on the website this week. So, anyway, it was great seeing y'all. I appreciate you being here, and I will see you next week. And maybe we'll do something for Cinco de Mayo. That sounds fun. Maybe those enchiladas that Laura sent me a recipe for. All right, y'all. Take care, and I will see you next week at 3. Bye-bye.